Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Ben,
I'm Rob.
and we are here today to cover episode 10 of One Piece. This is the One Piece versus 4K podcast. If you're just tuning in, where we compare the One Piece for Kids anime to the Funimation dub, sub, and throw in comparisons to the manga. So we are back today for episode 10. But before we get into it, I guess what's been going on with you, Ram?
So at work, they actually introduced us to, not that they introduced us, like they assigned me to like a Python project. And like the thing is, like I've been like meaning to kind of like do more with Python. Like I've always like touched Python a little bit in the past. But this is the first time where I'll actually like start to look into the libraries and like the different documentations and stuff and actually get into like the thick of things. So I've been kind of like picking up a lot of that and like kind of working on a lot of that over the weekend and stuff. So it's just it's one of those things I've been like it's always been in the back of my mind ever since like I started ever since I heard of Python. Like I think the earliest I ever used Python was like back in college in Java 1 where we had to like I think program a little robot to do like some basic movements or whatever. And then I've seen books where it's like I think there was this book that was titled automate the simple things using Python or use Python to automate the simple things in life or something like that, which kind of automates like, if you have some daily email that you need to send or whatever, something like that. So I've always been meaning to learn Python. And so getting put on this project, I'm like really excited because like I'll be able to really get into the thick of things with Python. So yeah. What about
That's
you?
cool. Uh, uh, just this weekend I played some Borderlands, Borderlands 3. There was a new DLC that came out, so my wife and I played
Mm.
through it. Yeah, it was a good time. So yeah, I had a good time starting and completing. I guess I think it was maybe 10 or 12 hours of a game or something like that. So
So wait, did you guys already like complete Borderlands up to that point before this new
yeah, so they've yeah, we actually bought the whole so there's like a special edition that came with all the DLC for like
Mhm,
the first 4 DLCs or whatever. I think it was
mhm,
like $30 more, so it was like $100.
mm.
But we had played the DLCs in the older Borderland games and they were like pretty long, so we felt pretty confident that we would get our money's worth. So they've been coming out with new DLCs like once every 3 months or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think the last one came out in March, and then one came out before then in like November or something of last year. Um, so yeah, the new one came out, and we played it and beat it. Yeah, it was really fun. So yeah,
How long was this new DLC? How long did it
I think it was
take?
about 12 hours or so.
Wait,
So
did you guys do it all in one go, or did you guys split it
no,
up?
we started it on we started it on Friday night and we played it pretty much all day Saturday and then we beat it yesterday.
How did it feel after you beat it?
It felt good. I mean, I really enjoy that game. So I'm just looking forward to the other one. We like last year we played through Borderlands 1 and 2 um
Mhm.
in preparation for 3. And then we played 3 and you would think I would just get really burnt out on playing that game since I kept playing all of them, but I really enjoy it.
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, I was just like, so did you ever feel like sad, like that you're like, oh, this is done and I gotta wait or something, or?
No, because there's another Borderlands game that we haven't beaten, and I really want to go back and finish that before or like in the meantime. Um,
Okay, okay, okay.
so
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, the reason I was asking that is like, so back, long back, like back in college, like when I would watch like a ton of like different animes and stuff. I would so at the beginning I would pace it very well where I would watch maybe like one or two episodes a day. I wouldn't like binge it or anything. And then so I was watching this one anime, and then like so I was watching it. I was pacing it very well. I would watch like one or two a day, and it was one of those like 26 episode animes and stuff. And then one day I was just like, sure, let me just watch it. And then like, and I watched all of it in one setting. Like it was just I wanted to watch the next. Didn't want to. And then and then I reached the ending, and I was just like, after I finished watching, I was just like, oh, this feels bad. It's ended. I was
Yeah.
like, it's a hollow feeling. So I was just kind of wondering if you kind of had that when you finished that game in like one setting or something. But it looks like there's
Yeah, there's
more
more to look
Borderlands.
forward to. I mean, there's going to be another DLC. Now, I guess that's going to be the biggest thing is waiting like 3 more months. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
this one was actually weird though because like I guess due to the whole um, health crisis going
yeah,
on,
yeah.
uh, they they announced it. Like maybe I mean they announced it a while ago, but then they like didn't really say anything, and then they showed like gameplay of it, but they what was weird is they had a stream where they showed gameplay of it, but they never had a trailer.
Mm,
And then they had another stream where they showed more gameplay of it, and there was not a trailer. Like he knew everything about it, but it was like the last two ones had like a trailer. So it
mm,
was kind of weird. Like going into this, I like knew like this what the setting was gonna be in, but like I had no clue like really like what I was in for. It was weird. I guess they just didn't have the time to put together a trailer. Uh, I
mm.
don't know. It was weird. Um,
Okay, okay, okay.
but yeah, I enjoyed that. And then I guess this Friday I'll be off, so I'm excited for that. Are you guys off on Friday?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're off. I'm gonna see if I can get the following Monday off, but like, I have to see. But yeah, right now, yeah, it's just this Friday. I'm looking forward to that 3 day weekend.
Yeah, be exciting.
Um, yeah, dude. Like, oh, one thing I forgot to say, the anime finally restarted.
Oh yeah, yeah. You were mentioning it last time. So did you watch the episode?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was a really good episode. Um, So yeah, it was a really good episode. They kind of showed something that was very much one of the characters that was very much anticipated. Like his kind of like official formal introduction into the show was kind of done in this episode, and everybody was excited about it. And I thought it was a really good episode. So I don't know if I really like mentioned this controversy before, but like so among the I don't know if it's just a One Piece community or the general anime manga community. Um, like there's this huge thing about anime versus manga, and I think this is especially something that's like that happens with One Piece, where a lot of the fans who read the manga like they always like complain about the pacing of the anime and stuff. Um,
Uh-huh.
they think some episodes just drag on. But I get why the episodes drag on because it's like they catch up to the manga real quick. So it's like it's one of those things where when they catch up to the manga, you got to put up some fillers, to
Yeah.
give some space. So it's just one of those things where to kind of reduce the fillers, like, and I don't know how much of the fillers that they did reduce, but it was just one of those things where to kind of reduce that, they had to pace it in a way where some things are stretched, and like certain manga fans hate it. I don't really mind it. Like, I, you know, I only started reading the manga like after I caught up with the anime, and really after they kind of went on the hiatus, that's when I really started reading a lot of it constantly. Like I would read it a little bit here and there, but not too much. But like yeah, once like this happened, then like I started reading it a lot more, and like obviously I'm caught up with the 101. Like now I'm like caught up with the manga completely. But you know, yeah, it was one of those things where like yeah, so some fans are it's something that like it's not something that's new. It's something that has always been like a complaint for years. But it's something that I'm fine with. Like I'm fine with the anime, the pacing that the anime goes. It's just it is what it is. I don't really mind it. Just because like
If people got a problem with it, then just read the manga.
yeah, basically. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like since they made it a week to week thing, it's just it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't really have too much of an issue with it. Sometimes, like to help with pacing, they'll do a little extra animation. Like one of the fights in this arc, in the manga, it was like a really quick fight, but like in the anime, they kind of extended the fight. And some people, I think some fans took it as like, the animators kind of flexing their muscles a little bit, kind of showed their range. And then some manga fans were like offended by it because they just thought like the animators made the anime made the fight more intense than it was or something. I just look at it as like, it's a creative way to kind of pace it better.
Hmm.
So I really don't have any issues with the pacing of the anime. I mean, I get why it happens. I guess I can kind of get the frustration, but it was just I was fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, this episode this episode came out, and the thing about this episode is that because of the hiatus, a lot of the anime fans who never read the manga finally started reading the manga, and a lot of them like caught up, and so now
Oh yeah.
it's like there's like an increased crowd of like fans complaining about the pacing, and I'm just like, uh, I'm just not one of them.
I guess we should get into this episode here.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
yeah. So we're on episode 10, like I mentioned earlier. My episode title was "The Bluff and the Bluffer."
Yeah, mine was the weirdest guy ever, Django the hypnotist.
Okay. Yeah. What was what was weird for me is the uh the videos that I'm watching. It actually had the Four Kids title in it. I don't know if they decided to switch to the Four Kids titles when they were titling this. I don't know what the heck is going on, but yeah, my title was the correct title in my file that I was watching.
Oh, so
Yeah,
okay.
I don't
Yeah, I
know. It was
guess
really
yeah.
confusing.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, I was expecting it to be different, and then I thought it might be the same, but now you're saying it's different. So yeah, yeah. Anyways, uh, yeah, that's a minor thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with the summary, and then let me know if something's. Feel free to butt in if something's different, and then we can talk about it.
Just I do feel like there would be some, but yeah. Let's first yeah,
Yeah, sure.
go ahead.
Just feel free to speak up. All right.
Yep.
So the episode opens with the guy that we had seen at the end of last episode. I said the episode opens with the guy we saw at the end of the last piece of One Piece. Just because I don't know if I don't think I ever brought this up, but like whenever they're recapping the last episode, at least in the Four Kids dub, they're like on the last piece of One Piece.
Hmm.
Do,
Okay.
do they do any like clever thing like that in the
No,
Funimation
no,
dub? Oh
no.
man, see that's a great cheesy line. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, so they said on the last piece of One Piece, yeah. So yeah, we see that guy, the man with the blue hat, heart glasses, and long hair. Um, we see him like moonwalking, like walking backwards past a farm. And there's like a lamb in like this farm that he's walking past.
Mhm.
Uh, then all of a sudden it cuts back to the butler telling Luffy and crew, as well as Usopp, who is up in the tree to, get out of there. The butler says to stay away from Kaya because his father was a filthy pirate and he's a terrible liar. And then he says that, you're only here for Kaya's money anyways. Kaya then says to the butler to apologize. The butler refuses. Uh, Usopp is pissed that the butler was bad mouthing his father, and he punches the butler so hard he falls to the ground. It's kind of like a shocking moment because you don't think that, Usopp is powerful at all.
Wait, so he actually does punch him.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. I was actually thinking that this would be one of the things that they would censor or something. Like him just kind of. I figured the way the scene would be is that Usopp jumps like down on the ground and like the force of him jumping would like throw him back or something. I
Oh.
thought like they would do something like that.
Yeah, no, he punches them.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Um, yeah. So he's Butler says, so he says, he may tell, Usopp says, he may tell a tall tale or two, but he would never lie about his father, who is a brave warrior at sea. The butler then says, if so, then why does his son spend his days trying to steal Kaya's money? Usopp is pissed again and he's about to attack. When Kaya asks him to stop, the butler tells him to never come back. All of a sudden, the vegetable pirates barge in and call the butler a jerk and then run and hide behind Luffy. Next scene, we see Kaya coughing and crying into her pillow as the butler brings her some food um, and she says she doesn't want to eat it. And then he begins reminding her of when he met her. He says he had been ordered to leave his ship and he had no money nor family, and he was also very sick. And then that her father had given him a chance after he showed up at the gates. He says that he owes her parents everything for sticking up for him. He says, it is his duty to protect her. Then, a little bit earlier, you find out that his name is like Gladiador. Is that match up with you?
We call him Clawdor. It's like with a K, KLA Clawdor, something like
Okay,
that.
I mean maybe that makes more sense. Um, I guess just maybe heard it wrong with the way they're pronouncing it.
Okay, okay.
Um,
Actually, I had like a couple questions. Actually,
yeah.
I'll save this for the end. I'll save this for the end.
Okay. So then Kaya says, Usopp isn't bad, and the butler says, friends are not what they seem. Then we cut back to that creepy sunglasses dude moonwalking some more. And then next scene, we see Zolo and Nami wondering where Luffy is, as Nami points out that Onion is missing. All of a sudden, Onion comes bursting through, screaming that the backwards man is there. He shows up, and the backwards man shows up and asks which one of them called him weird, and he reveals that he's a traveling hypnotist. The kids then ask him to show them his skills, and he says, "Why should I perform for a bunch of vegetables I don't even like? Where's broccoli?" Um, was something like that mentioned in yours?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Pretty much the same. Like,
Okay.
it's like yeah, he's basically like says he's a hypnotist, and then he's like, "Why would I have to show it to you guys?" And the next he's like, "All right, now watch this."
Does he ask where broccoli is?
The hypnotist?
Yeah.
No, no, no. He just says, "Look at this
Oh,
thing,"
okay.
and he swings it
Yeah.
around.
Okay. Okay. Then I guess that's a funny touch here because he's saying he doesn't even like the vegetables they are. He only likes broccoli.
Oh, okay.
Um.
No, no, he doesn't say anything like that.
Oh man. See, already the four kids version is far superior. Um. So yeah, then he decides to show them and hypnotizes them and ends up putting himself as well as the kids to sleep by saying the magic word, which is Django. Um, Next, we see Luffy sneaking up on Usopp, sitting under a tree, and Usopp says he can't believe the butler insulted his dad. Luffy says not to worry, and Usopp agrees. Usopp says he'll only come back if the butler begs him to come, and all of a sudden they see the butler uh, on the beach with the weird hypnotist, and we figure out that that hypnotist's name is Django. Um, Next, we see the butler telling Django not to draw attention to himself like he did for the kids. The butler asks Django if he's ready, and Django says he's ready to take out Kaya whenever he'd like. So I mean, they don't say kill, but they say take out.
Mm, okay.
I mean, but there's nothing else it could mean. So I mean, there's still not really hiding any violence at this
Yeah,
part.
okay,
They're
okay,
just
okay.
saying
I guess
take
that's fair.
out.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So the butler tells him that it must look like an accident beforehand. He must hypnotize her to write a will, so all the possessions will go to him. He says he spent the last 3 years earning the trust of everyone. Django says at first he wasn't sure about his plan, how he put a crew member in his place, um, so the world would think he was done away with by being caught by the Navy. But now he sees the scope, and all of it is so smart. Django reveals that he's a cap that the butler is actually a captain, and I guess Claudador says he's not a captain anymore. He's just a simple butler, soon to inherit a huge fortune. Django says, uh, "Sure, a simple family. You're just a simple butler who destroyed an entire family." And the butler says he didn't do anything to the parents, at least not on purpose. Django then says to hurry up because his entire ship is waiting for him. Next, we see Usopp and Luffy on top of the hill. Usopp understood the entire conversation, while Luffy quite didn't quite catch it. Usopp basically tells Luffy what happens, that they're planning to hurt Kaya, and the guy they know as the butler is really Captain Kuro, the most cruel and cunning pirate in all of the sea. Usopp reveals this, um, and then Luffy screams down at them from the hill to stay away from Kaya. Usopp is terrified as the butler realizes it and says that he's going to deal with him. He asks what they heard, and Luffy says, "Oh, we heard every single word." Django then hypnotizes Luffy to sleep as Usopp looks away so he doesn't get hypnotized. Django also falls asleep at the same time as the butler says he thought he was getting over it. Luffy is then fallen asleep on the hill as, or no, he as he falls asleep, he falls off of the hill straight down,
Mm,
and like smacks his head. He's like it's really high up. Um,
yep.
and Django wakes up and says, "At least the problem solved. There's no way he could be alive after that fall." Django then asks if he should also do the same to Usopp, and the butler says, "No worries, no one will believe him anyways." He tells Django tomorrow morning at dawn to attack the village and take care of Kaya. Usopp runs off to tell the village as the butler captain tells the crew to be patient. In a few hours, the town will be theirs for the taking. Next, we see Zolo and Nami and the veggies wondering where Luffy and Usopp are as Usopp runs through uh, to tell the village. Nami wonders if he's still upset as the veggie kids think it's a bigger deal. Zolo asks how do they get to the bluffs where Luffy was. Then we see Usopp screaming that the pirates are going to attack the village tomorrow at dawn, as everyone in the village doesn't believe him, and they're ganging up on him with brooms and saying that they doubt him as he's not as trustworthy as the butler. Uh, so, do they have like brooms and stuff in yours?
Actually, this is past what this episode covers.
Oh wow. Okay, well, I'm almost done then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next we see Kaya and some other guy named Mary, who also looks like a lamb. He kind of looks very similar to the lamb that you had seen at the very beginning,
Mm,
bringing her some glasses. Then Kaya says, "Tomorrow it will be 3 years since Claudador first came, and he's been such a great help." Then we see Usopp pleading for them back at the town to believe him, and the townsfolk say they won't believe him for crying pirate anymore. Then the episode wraps up as the veggies are at the bluffs looking for signs of trouble. or even Luffy when Nami peers over the hill and notices that Luffy's hat has fallen off of him on the ground and Luffy is passed out, and is assumed to be dead.
Mm.
So
Oh,
yeah, that's where the episode ends.
okay. I think this is the first episode where they're starting to go ahead of where the regular anime is. Cause
Yeah.
yeah, cause like yeah, it's I think where Four Kids ends, it like they end after the arc that they end at, they ended it a lot sooner than when the anime actually ends it. So I think this is one of those things where it's just, yeah, they're like speeding it up. So my episode, it does a lot of what you just said, but it actually ends as like Usopp is running towards the village. Like he doesn't reach the village. He just thinks a lot of thoughts. Like basically like you see the scene where like Luffy he gets hypnotized and he falls forward. And after that happens, that scene where Usopp is running to the village, that's where my episode actually
So
ends.
you see him? Do you see him running past Nami and Zolo?
N- no, no, no,
Oh
no,
wow!
no.
So
Yeah,
just you
he's just
just see him
running.
running off.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Um, yeah. And yeah, so I guess that's one of the major, like I think this is one of the big kind of like differences between that, where we see pacing a little different between Four Kids and regular, as early as
That's
episode 10.
yeah, that's very interesting. But I'm really wondering, like, because the whole episode, I mean, the episode wasn't any longer. Um, it was a total, with the intro and outro, it was 20 minutes.
Mm.
So
Um,
I'm really confused at what they would have cut out.
I wonder if they kind of cut out. I'm actually curious. Maybe they cut out some of the plan parts, possibly. Like, um, so I guess like in mine, kind of similar to yours. You know, Claudor, he comes in and he starts like kind of berating about Usopp's dad, and they kind of have this back and forth exchange, and then so at the beginning of the episode, did Claudor like come to Luffy and tell them, "Hey, you guys got to get out"? And then did he
Hmm.
call out Usopp as he was like hiding behind the tree?
Yes.
Okay. And then he jumps down, and then does he keep like saying bad things about Usopp's dad that he punches him? Because yeah, I know he
Yeah.
punches him, but how like does he say
I
one
mean, he
thing?
only just says like one thing, pretty much.
Okay, okay, okay. That might be a speech that was kind of shortened because yeah, in mine he actually says a lot of things about Usopp's dad, about how he's like this criminal. He then accuses. Well, so does the butler ever tell Usopp like why don't you go tell more of your lies about how your dad is a salesman or you're not related to him by blood? Does he say any of that?
No, he doesn't say that.
That might be dialogue that might have been cut out.
Uh,
Because like in the anime and even in the manga, like yeah, he Clahodor really kind of like goes after Usopp's dad about being like a pirate and stuff, which really kind of infuriates him, and like
so he also says that he's not even his real son.
not that he's not his real son. He just like so well, like Usopp's known to be this liar and or exaggerator. Um, and so Clahador, one of the things he says is, why don't you say one of your many lies? Why don't you say that? Why don't you lie about how your dad is a traveling salesman? Why don't you lie about how your dad is not blood related to you or something like that?
Oh, okay.
So he says some stuff like that, and that's what really enrages Usopp, because Claudor somewhat insinuates like how like Usopp isn't proud of his dad or something, and Usopp's like hits him, and he talks about how he's like very proud of his dad and how he's proud his dad's a pirate who lives in the sea and stuff. It looks like some of that dialogue's been kind of cut out.
I wonder if there was also some dialogue cut out when they're talking about the plot uh, to kill Kaya.
Yeah, possibly because like so I guess like so yeah, I guess I'll kind of do a mini recap. But I do have a couple of questions for you. Does Django have an accent? Does he have a specific accent?
No, not really. But I mean, no, not really. You just really do get a Michael Jackson vibe from him.
Yeah, that's
I mean, but
so
that's just because of the way he walks. I mean,
yeah.
he's ki- he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't have like a deep voice. He kind of has a voice reminiscent of Michael Jackson, but not like yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's more of so you're just picturing him like that because of his moonwalk.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. There's actually this kind of like this One Piece kind of fan parody thing, where they cut up scenes from the actual show, but they put in their own dub and words and stuff. And yeah, like with Django, they kind of make him like do some Michael Jackson stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. But yeah, okay. I wanted to kind of check out the accents to see if they had any like specific
Yeah,
accents or something.
nothing, no weird accents. Everything sounds
Okay.
normal. Nothing sounds cringeworthy like the first couple people we ran
Okay,
into.
and I guess the some of the censorship here is that like in mine, um, yeah, I mean, flat out like yeah, uh, Clahador and yeah, Clahador and Django they talk about killing Kaya. They outright say killing Kaya. Um, like so one, I guess I don't know if this was mentioned in your episode. Like so in my episode, Clahador says to Django, "Hey, you can't just be seen lying in the middle of the ground, in the middle of the road."
Yeah,
And
he says
this was
that.
shortly after. Okay. Yeah, because like because like same thing happens. Like he kids are like, "Hey, prove that you're a hypnotist," and he's like, "Why would I prove it?" And then he does the hypnotizing thing, and yeah, the three kids and him fall asleep. And then yeah, that's when they had a conversation. Oh, one thing I do want to mention: the manga chapter that's covered is chapter 25 and chapter 26. Um, and actually, what's funny enough is that the Four Kids actually follows the manga a little bit here because they actually do
Oh,
cover stuff in chapter 26 in this episode.
that is
I
weird.
think, yeah, I think they cover chapter 26 in the next episode, but it's like half of chapter 26. But yeah, and or I think last episode when I said that Luffy has that flashback at the start, whereas like in the manga it's there. So in terms of the manga, when um, when Clawdor mentions about Usopp's dad being a pirate and stuff, that's when Luffy recalls Usopp's dad, and when Usopp runs away.
Okay.
And he's by that bluff, or sorry, like where that cliff is. Um, and Luffy goes to go talk to him. That's when Luffy reveals in the manga. That's actually the first time Luffy actually reveals that he knows Yasop, his dad, and stuff. So that was one of the things that's like the manga and the anime kind of like mixed around a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So that was actually when. But like here, yeah, they talk on the bluffs, and then they notice that like yeah, Kuro and or sorry, Clahador and Django are on the base of the beach, and they talk about like the plot to kill Kaya, um, and Clahador, yeah, they talked about how like they dressed up one of the oh, did they show the scene where they dressed up someone to look like
Yes.
and did they show him getting shot?
Uh no, they showed just showed the Navy people with guns.
Oh, they didn't show them actually pulling the trigger and putting him up, filming up his holes.
No.
Okay, that
But
might have
it
been something
looked
that they
just
cut out.
but yeah, it looked just like him. Did, did it look just like him in yours, like where they show the silhouette?
Yeah. They
Yeah,
they showed they showed him. They showed his like they didn't show like his face, but at a distance it looks like him with
yeah.
the glasses. And then they shot him up, and it
That's what was
yeah.
kind of confusing me at first. I'm like, well, it looks just like him, so of course they would shoot him. But
Okay, so I guess that was one scene that they kind of cut out.
yeah, they didn't
Um,
show any of the actual death, but they showed them with the guns.
yeah, I'm guessing that they probably cut out some of the, how like animes sometimes would have those scenes where it's just like they'll say a bunch of stuff and they'll like just leave them staring at each other for like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think they might have cut out some of those intense stares in this episode. Okay, so yeah, but I guess one kind of censorship that they did, yeah, they in the regular Funimation dub and stuff, sub and dub, they actually do mention about how like they're gonna kill Kaya. Sorry, Claudor, he tells Django, don't just kill her, make it look like an accident. It needs to look
Hmm.
like an accident. But yeah, they do keep saying the word kill, or murder. And in this episode, he actually, yeah, and in the manga too, um, Django talks about how like um, Claudor says he's like a pacifist now, and then Django's like, "How are you a pacifist after you murdered that entire girl's family or something?" And then he talks about how like him killing his dad wasn't part of the plan. He just happened to die. Um, so that was just yeah, that was kind of one thing that I guess that was like a little censorship there,
Yeah, I
where
mean
Django's.
they just said in mind that it was an accident. The family was an accident.
Yeah. I mean, kind of the same. Like he
Yeah.
just said that it
I
wasn't
mean, it's the same
intentional. It was just
intent, and
something that happened.
it's the same intent about killing. They just don't say the word kill.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
mean, I don't really understand like in any context unless you know that this is being censored that you would think of, we're gonna take her out not being killing. So like them just not saying the
yeah,
word kill didn't really do any justice for it not being violent.
yeah. So yeah, and then so that's one thing where they mentioned that they killed. And then when Luffy stands up and says, "Hey, don't go killing that rich girl or something." He exposes himself, and then Claudor sees that Usopp is there, and then Luffy says, "Yeah, we heard the whole thing." And then Django does his hypnotizing thing. Usopp kind of hides because he thinks he's about to attack him with the hypnotizing thing, but Luffy watches, and then 1 2, I don't know if it's 1 2 Django or 1 2 3 Django. He says it, then Django falls asleep and Luffy falls asleep. Luffy falls head straight into the ground, and then Claudor like says that he thought Django had that under control about like him not getting hypnotized too, but he sees Luffy on the ground and he says he didn't mean to kill him. So yeah, that was another instance of kill. And then Usopp's like, I can't believe they just killed him like that. And then he starts running away, and that's where the episode ends for me. Is that like he's running away, but like Claudor says, it won't matter. People in the village don't trust you or something like that, and that's where my episode ends. But looks like your episode keeps going on. But like it was like that scene where he's like running back to the village. It was really extended. Like how extended was the scene with your episode?
Not that extended. It just shows him. It shows him running towards the village, and then it shows him running past uh, Nami and Zolo, and then it just shows him showing up to the village.
So I think that might be something where, yeah, because he's just running, and then he has all these thoughts in the back of his mind about how, like, um, everything he talks about how he loves the village and he doesn't want how they're gonna kill all the people, and then it flashes back to when he first met. Oh yeah, does it flash back for in the Four Kids one? Does it flash back to when Usopp first met Kaya?
No.
Oh, they cut out the flashback.
Yeah.
Well, so in the regular Funimation dub, as he's running back, he has a flashback of when he first met Kaya. Like, I think she was suffering like the loss of her parents. Like I think yeah, her parents died, and then Usopp goes to her place, and he talks about how like he's there to I guess like he goes there to kind of tells her lies, and then Kaya kind of rejects him at first, like yells at him at first, and then eventually she kind of comes around and she starts laughing at his stories and stuff. So that's how that friendship kind of formed. So I guess they cut out that part. So I guess these kind of
Dang,
scenes, the extended run, the flashback, the extended talk. I guess like since they cut out those things, like
that's really strange how they would
yeah,
cut out like him consoling her after her parents died because it's already you already know that her parents are dead.
yeah.
I don't
He's not
know.
really
It's weird.
consoling her. It's just he goes
Just
and he
showing up and
just
meeting her. Yeah, it's just weird that they
yeah,
would cut that out.
this is something I think we'll probably see because like so what did he say that really pissed off Usopp to punch him? Like what did he say?
He just said your dad's just a filthy pirate or basically something like that. Yeah.
He didn't mention anything about the son of like a filthy pirate or anything.
I mean, he might have, but it just seemed like he was more mad because he was talking crap about his dad.
Okay. Because like actually, so this was something that when I heard it in the anime, it was like it was one of those things. It was one of those things that like it foreshadows this huge revelation and this whole side thing that I'll probably it's probably something yeah it's this huge thing where like you know yeah it's this one scene where yeah Usopp being like the son of a pirate really gets at like where Luffy kind of stares it's it's a pretty impactful scene and then obviously same like Luffy gets angry as the other kids are but yeah kind of surprised that how much they cut out in this episode but yeah it's a lot of
Yeah.
key parts too a lot of key things too so yeah I guess
Strange.
that's the yeah I guess the main censorship is they didn't say the word kill
Yeah.
um let's see so the thing that he hypnotized him with was it like a blade ring.
It just seemed like a normal like thing that a hypnotist would use.
Like it didn't have like the swirls, right? Like it was like a hollow circle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that they didn't like kind of change that from a blade to something else.
I mean, it didn't. Yeah. No. Yeah, that was normal.
Okay. Yeah, I mean yeah, I think that's really all the questions I really had. I guess like we kind of covered the censorship and differences and stuff. Um yeah, I I forget like if I think 4 Kids probably did seasons instead of like every weekend. I think that might be why they were able to cut out so many things.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it was yeah, interesting how it differed. I'm guessing the next episode is going to be a little bit different too. So we shall see.
Yeah. It'll be a pretty unique episode. Um, yeah, it works. Yeah, I think I think we kind of covered all the kind of major differences between that and this. Um, yeah, although I will say that like yeah, your episode actually does cover chapter 26 in the entirety of chapter 26. So, yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, we will be back next week for episode 11. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll hear from you guys next week.
All right, cool.